This show loves the cliffhangers. So, just got finished watching episode 3 of season 2 of Vinland Saga. Spoiler alert. Got to shake off what happened at the end so I get back to the end. Let's go back to the beginning. It started with the end of episode 2, where the master's son, I can't even remember his name at this point, is being taken off by his drunken friends. We find out their names are Fox and Badger. They take him off to go and drink and have a good time, and he had just left the maiden's home and was upset that that this family wanted him to. They were trying to get their daughter to loosen him up so that they could share in the kid's masters. I guess in their wealth to secure their family. Being able to have wealth. Anyway, he's running off, and the two drunken guys find him, and they take him off. They're sitting at this table, and they're talking, and it's at one point the guy, the young man who is 17, he pulls his sword on the guys. They kick a table over and knock him over, and he throws this massive tantrum, like literally kicking and screaming. It's pretty interesting. And at this point, I'm like, what the heck am I watching? Turns out Fox and Badger are his bodyguards, and they're hired by his father to protect him. So they talk to him. Fox, I think, is the main guy. He talks to him, and he's like, you want to be a man, you have to kill somebody. Then you'll be respected as a man. So they're like, I have the perfect people for you to kill. These 2 slaves. So we're talking about Einar and Thorfinn. So at this point, I'm like, oh, okay, so they're going to get the guy killed, and themselves, and half the village. So Thorfinn's going to wake up and slaughter everybody. Here we go. So that's what's in my mind. So they cut to Thorfinn and Einar. Einar wakes up, and then Thorfinn wakes up screaming, really upset. And he said he doesn't remember the dream, but it really freaks him out. His heart's racing, and he's trying to figure out what the dream is about. Anyway, as they're getting ready to start their day, they're talking to this maiden, the same one that Einar was kind of taken with in an earlier episode. Come to find out, he thought she was the master's daughter. She's just another slave. She's the handmaiden of the house. So they're kind of talking, Einar and the handmaiden, and flirting with each other a little bit. And then Fox and Badger come up, and they're like, hey, we want to take you 2 guys. I need you all to help me with something. So they march him off, and they go to this place, and they tell him, it's like, hey, you're here to die. You're the master's property. We need to get this guy to be a man. You can see he's going to take your life. Einar doesn't like it so much. Thorfinn's just standing there. Einar doesn't like it. He's getting upset. And then he ends up attacking the young kid, the master's son. While he's attacking him, they have 2 swords in front of Thorfinn. So, of course, I'm seeing these 2 small swords in front of Thorfinn. It's like, oh, here it comes. Thorfinn's going to snatch these swords, start chop-sueying everybody. Never happens. Thorfinn's just looking morose, just standing there with a dead look on his face. And as Einar is wrestling with the master's son, Thorfinn finally says, look, let him kill me. I don't care. Just let him kill me. And Einar can go back to work in the fields. He only needs to kill 1 person to become a man. I'll be that person. So Fox hears him, and he's like, oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? He's like, you don't fear death? Everybody fears death. And then he takes out his sword, and he slices Thorfinn across the chest. Thorfinn just stands there. And he starts to slice him up. I mean, he must have hit him about a dozen times. And then at the end, he ends up slicing off his ear and tells him his eyes are next. I mean, he sliced him up, and Thorfinn's just standing there not flinching. Meanwhile, there's another young guy. They show him, he's in this chair. This is another scene. Big strapping young guy. He's in this chair, asleep, and he wakes up, falls out of the chair. Random. But he gets up, and he hears the ruckus going on. It turns out he can hear what's going on because you can't tell at first where he is. It seems like he's completely somewhere else. But he hears the ruckus where Fox and Badger and Einar and Thorfinn and the Master's son are, and all the people who are surrounding them watching it and laughing and stuff. The young guy cuts over there. He's like, he's looking. And just as Fox is about to take Thorfinn's eyes, well, actually, he watches Thorfinn get his ear chopped up. But it's not his whole ear, like the top part of his ear. But I mean, still, I like my ear. So that was unpleasant. But he, the young guy's watching it. He's like, man, wow, that's impressive. This kid didn't flinch. And then just as Fox is about to take Thorfinn's eyes, the guy tells him to stop. And he says, he's like, Fox, stop. Fox sees who it is, and he's like, oh my God. And they call him Snake. The title of the episode is Snake. I guess this is this guy's name. We don't know who he is. We don't know what's going on with him, but he's somebody because Fox stops immediately. And Fox is a really cocky, arrogant guy who clearly is good with a sword. And he tells Thorfinn that our trade is death and everybody fears death. So this guy is a bad guy. And he's terrified when he sees Snake. So Snake comes by, and he's looking at what's going on. Tells Fox to come here. Fox comes over, and he punches Fox in the face. And I don't know if he's dead because teeth flew, his face got caved in, and he was out. One punch, boom. Then Fox, not Fox. Snake tells Badger, he's like, hey, explain this to me. Explain to me what's going on. And then the episode ends. So, very disappointed. Because I wanted to see what was going on. So I guess I have to wait to episode 4. So it's another cliffhanger episode. It was a good one. Thorfinn, this whole time I'm waiting for him to erupt. Because, obviously watching, he waited for 10 years to kill, Askeladd. I almost forgot his name already. And Askeladd ends up getting killed by the prince, who ends up, ended up being the king at that point because his father was killed. He's like lost all hope or reason for living, basically. And he's walking around just dead inside. And as this guy slices him up, he's just standing there. We know he's tough. We know Thorfinn's, a bad guy. He's a strong warrior, but he's not fighting back at all. I was really, really, really looking forward to the fight. Not much of a fight because Thorfinn was just going to run through him, but when they put those two swords in front of Thorfinn, I just knew it was about to go down. But anyway, now look at me. I'm talking about Vinland Saga and all the blood I can't stand, and I'm actually cheering for it. So it's like I'm being turned to the dark side. At any rate, obviously it's going to be curious to see who Snake is, why Fox is terrified of him, how Snake and Thorfinn interact, and how that drives the plot forward. Einar, they have Einar kind of to the side at this point. I'm curious obviously about him, but the Snake and Thorfinn dynamic is going to be interesting because Snake already kind of has an affinity for Thorfinn. As you would have to if you saw a display like that where guys get sliced up and doesn't even flinch. So that's next. Who is Snake? Who is this mysterious Snake? And what is his relationship to everybody? So, all right, we'll see you in episode 4.